Pecha Kucha 224, approximately 3 to 5 Jokers. So I read a comic book called 3 Jokers, drew some Jokers. Some of those Jokers aren't different from the other Jokers, so it's between 3 and 5. I bought a digital comic, never had the actual printed book, and I gotta say that was the least enjoyable bit of the experience. But I did start the week talking to a friend who brought my attention to there being a program called Adobe Dimension, which is like a 3D modeling program. I do have it because I have the Adobe Suite. I messed around with the tutorials. I don't know if it has any value to me, but it's good to know that it's there because I just renewed this month. I watched a Joe Rogan Experience for the first time in a long time. The reason I don't watch more is because it's always some guy explaining how something is fucked and how it got fucked. More of the same thing. Brett Weinstein works in education, and he's kind of seen Antifa and Black Lives Matter turn from something pro-people to anti-people. I don't know I'll be watching another Joe Rogan Experience soon. There's been a lot of negative stuff in my feed about politics and all of this stuff, and just hearing like a young black woman in Parliament just say, let's keep what is right, calm the fuck down, and critical race theory is something that should be heavily eyeballed as a problem, not a solution. It restored my faith in humanity a little bit. There are still people out there trying to make sense of this nonsense. I decided I need more stuff on my YouTube field, which is artists talking about art, so I found this random guy talking about his oil painting expertise and education. And while it has no direct relevance, I did enjoy it a lot more than listening to people complain about The Punisher. I decided, because I need something in this week's show, I was going to take a picture I did using the Andrew Loomis technique, a little bit of the Joker, and just try and make it more like the Joker and less like whatever this is. I don't know how it's wrong, I just know that it's wrong. And looking for good pictures of the Joker, recently I was aware of the 3 Jokers artist Jason Fabrock being fabulous at it. And then it just made me think maybe I need to buy this comic because I'm accidentally reading pages of it on Google. So I go to Amazon and they're like, yeah, you can buy it, and then you can read it on Comixology. And I've had Comixology before. It's got a panel by panel comic book page reader where the camera will zoom from panel to panel. And this is a free comic Transformers, what the fuck is it called? Megatron Wins. I forget what it's called. And it was so good I actually bought that comic hardback. So I did end up buying Batman 3 Jokers, written by Jeff Johns, illustrated by Jason Fabok. Pretty new. Fantastic Batman book. It's right up there with A Death in the Family and The Killing Joke. It makes direct reference to both of these. But when I'm opening the Kindle app on my PC trying to figure out how to fucking read this thing, I've got very few options. I want to look at the art, goddammit, and I can't zoom in. It won't let me zoom in. So I'm like, how am I going to watch this? I screwed around on my PC for a while, and then I kind of downloaded the free Kindle app on my phone, and then it also uses the Comixology panel zooming in thing, so I could look at every panel on my phone, but it was the full, size of my phone, so I could actually enjoy the art, enjoy the whole thing, and get a directed flow. So what is the premise of the 3 Jokers? There are 3 Jokers. Spoiler, 3 Jokers have been found on the same night doing 3 very jokery things, and it doesn't seem like 2 of them are copycats. So Batman has to investigate. He investigates with Batgirl and the Red Hood, Jason Todd, and Jason Fabrock's art is so good at being expressive, which is an underpinning thing of Jeff Johns' excellent narrative. A lot of stuff happens in this, and you can kind of feel the impact and the emotion. A lot of plot twists, kind of maybe a few plot holes too. It's a great book, but to date, even though Amazon claimed I could read it on Comixology, it's not shown up in my rather meager, slim pickings library of free promotional issues. All Hail Megatron is what that Transformers comic was called. They gave me the first issue to read for free. I thought it was great, so I bought the actual massive hardback book on Amazon. I can't recommend it enough. I did think that 3 Jokers is worth mining for all of its artistic value. I decided I was going to do some thumbnail sketches of the Joker. I ended up doing a lot less than I thought because I couldn't get away from what I was doing until I thought it was good enough to have value in, me trying to figure out how to draw Jokers that look like the Joker. So one of the Jokers in the story doesn't smile very much. He's the one I did a picture of. I think they call him very intelligently and cleverly Joker number 1. My second or third pass at the image, because I typically do a layer, turn it blue, do another layer. Eventually I start, hitting pay dirt. I feel at this point I'm starting to get a likeness. I don't use comic book rendering techniques to actually render, and it kind of shows there's an actual way to use your line work to create the kind of shapes that scream comic book. I put in some flat colors, and it really kind of just highlights that the way that I'm shading it and going about getting the values isn't really all that valuable, no pun intended. I think I'm a little bit better at drawing Joker now, so I went back to that picture I showed earlier from a few weeks ago, and I was just like, let's just draw on top of that. Can we make it more Jokery? I still don't really know what to do with his hair. I'm still not sure really about the size of his mouth and how that relates to the rest of his facial proportions. He does have a big chin and he does have a long nose. And this is where we are at the end of this week. I'm in one of those moods where I'm going back to using grayscale and staying away from strong black lines. I'm just trying to define his facial landmarks in relation to each other, make his face look appropriately curved, and then I'll worry about actually adjusting the colors so that everything is tonally accurate, because obviously his hair and his skin are basically the same color almost at this point, which is absurd, and his clothes and his skin are the same color. That can be fixed. I'm just trying to make him look crazy but not crazy wrong. Okay, so that brings us to the end of Pecha Kucha 224, and I will see you next time.